Good day. All right, today I'll be talking about a roadmap to becoming a backend developer. But before we go into that, who is a backend developer? Now, a backend developer is a software engineer who builds and maintains the server-side architecture of a web application or a mobile app. Now, backend developers are those that are interested in the backend architecture, that work with database, that work with the flow of data. So backend developers and all those that build the part that the viewers interact with, those are front-end developers. So backend developers build the business logic, build the APIs that interact with the front end in order to serve data to the front end. So knowing about who a backend developer is one step to becoming one. Now, first step in becoming a backend developer, you need to pick a language. Now, backend developers work with programming languages, different programming languages. We have some of the programming languages are Python, you have Java, you have PHP, you have nodejs, you have Go, you have Ruby, and a whole lot more. So the first step in becoming a backend developer is to pick a language. So once you've picked a language, learn the fundamentals of that language very well. So once you've learned the fundamentals of that language, the next step you need to follow is to learn about databases. Now, databases are where users store their information. So as a backend developer, you need to know about the rudiments of a database. Now, there are two types of databases. You have the relational database, and you also have the non-relational database. Now, the relational database are the database that use SQL. Some people call them the SQL databases and the NoSQL databases. Now, the relational database or the SQL databases, examples of them are databases like MySQL, you have PostgreSQL, you have Microsoft SQL Server, and a whole lot more. Now we have NoSQL databases, the likes of Mongodb. So you need to know about the two of them and when to apply each particular one. Alright, so once you've learned about databases and about SQL, the next thing you need to learn about is to learn about version control. Now, version control, there are a lot of softwares that do version control. Some of the popular ones are Git, and there is Subversion, there is Mercury. But Git is one of the popular version control softwares out there. So you need to learn about Git, you need to learn about GitHub. GitHub is an online repository where programmers store their code and collaborate with others on a particular project. So you need to know about Git and you need to know about GitHub. So once you've learned about version control, the next thing you need to learn is to pick a framework. Now, depending on the language you chose, there are lots of frameworks out there. For instance, if you choose Python in the beginning, you probably will need to learn about Django. You need to learn about Flask. Now, if you chose a language like Java, you need to learn about Stringboot. If you chose a language like Node.js, you need to learn about Expressjs. These are all frameworks that make backend development easier. Uh, if you learn PHP as your language, you need to learn about Laravel. So these are some frameworks that you can use in backend development to make your application development faster and easier. All right. Next thing you need to learn after picking a framework is to master application programming interfaces (API). Now you need to know how to build APIs. APIs are backend infrastructure. APIs are essentially applications that connect other applications. Alright, so you need to learn about the HTTP methods, the get, the put, the delete, and the updates. These are what constitutes to what we know as CRUD. The create, read, update, and delete. So you need to know about all the different HTTP methods that are involved in API development. So you need to know about APIs very well. So once you've learned about APIs, the next thing you need to learn about is cloud. You need to learn about how to host your applications on the cloud. Now there are different cloud platforms. Some of them involves some of the common ones are AWS, you have Microsoft Azure, you have Google cloud platform GCP, you have IBM cloud and the rest. But you want to learn about cloud. That is the main point. You need to pick a particular cloud infrastructure and learn about it and know how to deploy your applications on the cloud. So once you've learned about cloud, the next thing you need to learn about is data structures and algorithm. Now, this is very essential because you need to know how the different data structures like arrays, like stacks, like queues, linked lists, trees, and graphs. You need to learn about the unique capabilities of these different data structures and when to use each one in your own programming. So next thing you need to learn about after learning about data structures is to learn about system design. Now, system design has to do about system architectures. We have different system architectures. You have the monolithic architecture, you have the microservices architecture. So you need to learn about all of this. So once you're good with system design, it's time for you to start building projects. Building projects to show your competence in backend development. So you need to start building projects, then use those projects to build your portfolio, and then start learning how to solve problems like leak code problems, because those are the kind of problems you get in technical interviews. So you need to learn how to use leak code to solve problems and improve your problem solving ability. I hope you found value in this. If you did, do well to subscribe, like, and share to other people that might find value in this. Thank you.